Hello, millionaires. Welcome to the Millionaire Money Podcast.
All right. Hello, everybody. Super excited to have you guys with us today. Today, we are going to be having a phenomenal conversation with the one, the only, the Arnolds. And what I want to do is they're going to be introducing themselves to you. Today, we're going to be talking about 8-figure business growth, 20K in 8 weeks with joy and peace and family fun. And super excited for the conversation today. So Ben, Heather, why don't you guys just introduce yourselves first, like generally, who are you, what do you do, and we'll just start there.
Well, my name's Ben, and I have a corporate role doing business development.
That's right.
I'm a farmer. I grew up on a farm, and I farm now. And and also have hobbies. I'm a musician.
That's right.
And a father. And try a new sense of my life.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Heather. I am a stay-at-home mom. I have been for pretty much my whole life, feels like. No, half my life anyways. Our oldest is, or he will be. He'll be 17 on March 10th, so
wow,
getting there. So my domain is here in the house, but I also help Ben with the farm, and we do berry farming and traditional farming, so we've got lots of stuff out there to do. And
come on.
As you can imagine, running 3 boys all over the place, we've got things on the go and things to do, and that's my domain.
All right, awesome. So, for both of you, what really led you to connecting with us? For example, I guess you guys have been doing very well over the years. You guys have been extremely successful in your work. What led you to say, look, I think we should have a conversation related to our finances, related to scaling, and just overall, what really pushed you to even reach out?
Yeah, so what pushed me to reach out is, despite all the things that had gone well, I had really poor financial self-esteem. And it was so bad that because of the level I've achieved of personal success, I was actually in a spot where I felt like no matter what I did, my money, my savings were not going to go anywhere. And so I was really scared, and I was afraid in my own words, I'm going to screw this up again somehow. And I just need someone else to be a coach. So that was really it. You know what I said?
Yeah.
Just didn't want to make it a mistake, didn't want to mess it up.
Come on. So what I love about this, Ben, was that level of self-awareness to be able to know, yes, I am doing well. I've hit a level of success. And, to many people around you, it could be one of those things where, you should just sit where you are. Just be grateful that at least you've been able to build the farm the way that you have, and just be grateful for this and this, and not really being honest to be able to identify, what? I know that we've been able to build to a certain level, but what got me here is not going to get me to the next level of where I'm trying to go in the business, but also in your personal finance. And I love what you said about, I could see that my financial self-esteem wasn't where you wanted it to be. Because I think it's one thing to show up as a leader in our businesses. It's one thing to show up as a leader with the people that we lead. It's another thing to get very honest with ourselves and say, but how, if I were to assess myself, how do I really feel I am doing in this area personally? And I love that. And for you, Heather, what led you to say, because you could have easily said, you know what, babe, you deal with that, you have that conversation, and figure out your financial self-esteem, I'm good. What led you to say, no, I want to have this conversation as well?
I don't like being left behind. I hate being left behind. That's one of the things that my mother-in-law will tell this story. Like, this one, he likes to jump out of bed and just go when he's ready to go.
Yep.
And, I think we were camping or something, and she's just like, And you came running out of the tent, and she's just like, "Don't leave me behind!" You know, and that's me. I jumped into it with them, and it took something to press that trigger. It was good. I knew it was something I needed to. Even between the two of us, like, I often felt like it was always, he's the breadwinner. I can't spend money on that.
Yes.
Let's go to the discount. I can find.
Wait! Hold up! Because you're jumping into the roadblocks, and we're gonna go there. So just hold on 1 second. Hold up. Okay, so for you, it was this place of seeing Ben, making this decision of there is more, and I want to step into the more. And you were like, babe, if you're stepping into this thing to see, okay, where else can we take this? You're not leaving me behind. That was hilarious, by the way. You're not leaving me behind. We're going to be doing this as a team. We're going to be doing this growth together. And so you guys have the conversation, and what led you in that conversation? Because I know that it was a very big decision, for you guys to make as a family to step into Money Mindset Shift. So what was it in that conversation that gave you guys, because it's so easy for us, after the fact, to look back and go, oh, that was an amazing decision, and look at all that we've had since, and this is great. But often we don't see the breakthroughs that are coming in the beginning. And so what was it when you couldn't necessarily guarantee that this is what was about to happen in the next 8 weeks, that gave you guys that trust or confidence enough to say, we're going to bet on ourselves, we're going to bet on our family, and we're actually going to fight for our financial future here?
So I'm going to share 2 things. The first is, I was so pumped up with everything on your website that I read that I went and bought your book. And I read the book before my call with your team member.
Come on, I feel like you guys like read the book, because I think I heard that you got the book like the weekend before or something, read the whole book before the call or something like that.
Yeah, I was just so inspired. I got it, and I just stayed up until it was done. It took me like a few hours to read it.
Come on.
Everything was just like, I was like, okay, this is everything I've wanted to hear. And then in our team call, she just reached in and helped us see all the places where there were hurts from our past, where we weren't totally in sync together.
Yeah. And
it pulled out all this stuff that we didn't even fully realize was there. And it was like a big light bulb, like, wow.
Right. Just having that conversation, I broke out into it was true. And I mean, it's all things that we weren't talking about.
Yes.
Like when you're just not even focusing on it.
Yes.
Somebody's shining a light bulb in my direction.
Yes. And I love that, guys, because I think, often we tell people, just have the conversation. It's a free conversation. Let's see if we can help you. But there's something you just said that is so powerful, which is, it was a level of conversation that we hadn't even yet had. And I find that most couples feel that way. They're like, wow, this is the stuff that we've been, because it's scary to speak about it when you don't have a solution. You know what I'm saying? Because if you bring it all on the table and there's no solution, it's like opening a can of worms and then walking around with, just like, now we just know that this doesn't work. There's something wrong here. But also the willingness to trust, the willingness to be real, because I'm sure that the reason that conversation was as real as it was and as deep as it was because of both of your commitments to better the family. You know what I'm saying? And to say, okay, let's put it on the table and let's see what we need to fix, what we need to address. And I want to say this because some of you guys are watching this. Oh, yay. Hey, guys, Stacey Ann. I want to say this for those of you guys who are watching who feel like there's unspoken conversations. If you don't talk about it, it's still impacting the family. whether you admit it or you don't, it's still there. And that's why it is so crucial. It's so important, because sometimes, especially, Heather, you said something, we were just on the go, so you don't see it. And so many of us were in autopilot. The business is happening, you're taking care of the kids, you're running around, he's in, you're out, it's just like da-da-da-da-da. And we don't have time to look at these things. But until you take a moment to pause, you can't transform and you can't get to that next place. And so I really love that you guys had enough of that awareness to say, you know what, let's take a pause. Let's be honest with ourselves, because we've spoken to literally thousands of people, and I find that for a lot of people, actually I will ask you guys this question. Just came to my mind. I find that for a lot of people, when they've been able to build success, it is sometimes difficult for them to be honest about the areas that they do not feel successful in. It's almost like I've noticed this self-defensiveness around, like, no, look at all that I've done. Look at how amazing I am and what I've built, and don't you see that? So what allowed you guys to allow yourselves to be honest, to be able to see where the change needed to happen?
I think honestly, Toyin, it was a prayerful thing. We're coming up on 20 years of marriage. We have, all these things on the go. And it was just like, God, there's definitely pieces that we need to fix in the things that we're doing. And, like you find yourself getting extra snippy with the kids. You just notice little things.
Yes.
And it makes you ask questions.
Yes.
And you have to be able to trust there's something that you can open up with. Like I didn't marry him just so we could hang out next to each other on the
Yes, right.
I would say the big thing that allowed me to just dig in and go was realizing that in all the years that I've been out here working away at stuff, I have never come across anyone doing what you're doing. When I reached out to you, I was really looking for, kind of like a 5-step plan, like we're going to do this thing. And when you're done, you'll have a plan, you'll have everything. And what I got instead was you fixed the parts of me that were broken so I could build the plan that was right for me.
Yeah!
That's what you did. And from our call, from the beginning, I realized that's what this was about.
Yes.
And I could see the parts that were broken. You
yes.
guys helped me illuminate pieces that were broken and stopping me from being able to move forward in my life.
Yes, and I love what you said there, Ben, because so many people think that what we want or what we need is someone to give us a plan. Just tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to do. And there's many coaches or financial advisors that love that. They're like, yes, let me tell you what you need to do. Why? Because they know that if they tell you what you need to do the first time, every single time you need to make a decision, you're going to need them again. You're going to need to come back because that financial self-esteem hasn't been built to make those decisions for yourself. And that's where you have so many people who are dependent on coaches. And it is not healthy, y'all. If you coach, you get coached from someone and you can't make your own decisions, you feel this need to check in for every single stage, you need to check in, because there is such a thing as an unhealthy dependency. The whole purpose of coaching is supposed to be to help somebody. You don't see coaches on the field on the football game. We just had the Super Bowl go by. None of the coaches were out there trying to throw a ball. Let me not use sports references, guys. You already know me in sports. I play them, but I don't talk about them that well. But you don't see coaches throwing the ball for the players. And Ben, I love what you just said, because I don't think anyone has actually articulated it that way, where it's literally our focus is what's the gap in your thinking, in your actions, in your habits that is stopping you from really seeing the potential. And what I love as well is that you are the best person to see the potential, to see what the plan needs to be. Because as much as you want to divulge to a coach, they don't know all the factors in your life. They don't see all the different things that you're managing. You see that. And so, man, that was powerful. Okay, so you guys have that conversation, and you were humble, and you were honest, and you were real. You identified, look, there is growth available for us here. So you make the decision, you come into Money Mindset Shift. Now, guys, I want to say this. If you're watching this video and this is the first video you're ever seeing of our company and what we do, just going to make it right clear right up front, okay? If you want to transform your financial situation, it does not start with a budget. It does not start with consolidations or rolling it into mortgages or any of the other things that everyone's going to tell you, this is what you got to do if you're going to get your life back together. It does not start anywhere there. It is going to start right here. And so the very first thing you have to look at is you have to look in the mirror. You have to see, what is the story that I have been playing in my mind for a month, for a year, for 10 years, for 50 years for some of you? What is the story I have been playing about money, about myself, and about my ability to grow a legacy? So let's get into the goods. For you guys, when you started Money Mindset Shift, what were the top 1 or 2 roadblocks that you discovered was running the script for your life?
Okay, I've got 2 that were the big ones. The first one was, I'm always going to fail. Right? No matter how hard I try, it's always going to get messed up. It's never going to work for me. That was a really huge one that I uncovered. The second one, equally as big, was, if I'm successful, I'm going to feel guilty about that because I'm a Christian, and Christians should be, generous and humble, and and I shouldn't want that for myself. That
yes. Oh my gosh.
Those are the 2 big ones.
Just pause. Let's dig in here. The first one, that feeling of, it doesn't matter what I try, it's going to fail. And the reason I want to pause on it is because I know that, guys, you heard Ben just mention it, and it's easy to just kind of say it because, like, we've processed and da-da-da-da-da. But I know for those of you who feel this, it is a daily hounding thought. It literally affects everything that you put your hand to, because this thought of, doesn't matter what I try, it's not going to work. And then even when you start to see success, that thought will come up of what's going to fail about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what could go wrong? And it's so, thank you so much, Ben, for being so honest with this, because my husband, when he did my program, guys, it was so funny because he had watched me change, absolutely transform my mind and my brain, and then he sees all the clients' success, and I talk about it because I'm so excited. And one year he was just like, Toyin, okay, enough is enough. I want to see what's going on for myself too. And this was one of those things. And what we realized was the way it showed up was whenever random things would go wrong, like, for example, he dropped something, a plate of food or something random goes wrong, it could seem so small, he would be like, of course. Because the expectation was things go wrong. And he noticed this, and he was like, whoa, I expect things to go wrong. And back then, this was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago now. It's been, I think it's 2 years. I remember when he shifted this, because random things would happen, like he'd walk into things or things would just break, and he would just be like, of course. And then he identifies this thing, and he's like, shift, module 2, y'all know the module 2 process, and it stopped. It actually stopped. Like, I was tripped out. I was like, oh my gosh. And guys, the reason I'm highlighting this is because I don't know if some of you guys maybe you read the Bible. I know some of you guys don't read the Bible. It doesn't matter. There's a place in the Bible, in the book of Job, where after Job loses everything, he says, the thing I feared most has happened to me. And it's one of those examples that when our mind, it truly believes, I'm going to fail. Something's going to go wrong. I'm going to lose here. We actually end up creating that reality, even though it's the very thing we're fighting against. And Ben, what did you notice? What did you see about that in like your daily experience?
You know, I know we're going to go to the ending eventually, so I'll hold back on that part.
Yes.
I went through the process of just uncovering that. I could see how every time something went wrong in my life, I would put that into a little pile. Say, look at all your failures. The weird thing is, whenever something good happened, I just said, well, you know, you should have done a good job with that.
Yeah.
Good job. And then whenever I started to reflect on my worth or how I was doing, I'd go pull out this other basket of
from the
failure,
pile. Yes.
and I'd just sit with that basket and go, yep, look, see, failure. And everything else was an expectation. There was no allowance or thinking that those things were good or balanced. It just live in that other end of it, you know, in this area of my life.
And what for you, Heather, you know, watching him work as hard as he works, like y'all, Ben works very, very hard. Like Ben works, okay? So watching him work as hard as he works, but also seeing at that point, just him not acknowledging himself. You know what I'm saying? Or celebrating what he was accomplishing, like just feeling like he's failing and then just pushing. For you as his wife, what did that create for you?
Well, it's like watching somebody smack themselves against a brick wall.
Yeah.
Like they're really hard. It's like when you're stuck in a boat and you're stuck on the rocks and you're trying so hard to get off those rafts.
Yeah.
But you get pushed back into them. And he always looked tired. He always looked sad. There was never happy.
Yeah.
There was never that peace part. And he desperately wanted it. I mean, I'm going to say it was a year, probably a year even before. And he just like, no, I just need peace.
Yeah.
I need to sit in the bottom of the boat, just like Jesus in the storm. And that's what I need.
Yeah.
And he would teach it to me. And I just, you know, watching him go through it, you just like, I would take any burden off of you that I could.
Yeah.
And, you know?
Wow. I can't wait for us to get to the other side of this, okay? So thank you. Caroline is like, thank you so much. This is such a real conversation. And then I know you mentioned the feeling guilty, but at the same time, I also know we have a limited amount of time. So let's transition to Heather. Heather, what did you notice as the top roadblock, one or two that were affecting you?
Not feeling good enough, not feeling accomplished in anything, you know, going through, you know, yes, I graduated college, but no, I just went back into working at a call center. I didn't do anything that was going to be really good for me. And then I had babies and I wasn't going anywhere. And down on myself all the time. And there's nothing for me, you know, like that's not true. I know that's not true. But like, you get so down into that, and
yes,
for lack of a better word, you become a drudge.
Yeah.
Emotions of getting stuff that you have to do done, but you're not joyful or happy or excited about life.
Yeah, and it's so true because there's so many guys. You know, there was something you said there. Which you said, you know, I mean, I graduated college, but I didn't do anything with the degree. You know, that's literally, guys, I want you to hear me because the reason I'm saying this is because for some of you who are watching this, these stories are playing in your mind and you think it is normal. You think this is just what life looks like. This is just how it has to go. This is just how I am, guys. So many times, especially if you've noticed this playbook for a year, for 5 years, your brain actually gets convinced that this is just how you are. This is just how you think. Nothing can change. And that's why we're being so honest, guys, and we're sharing these examples. So I want you to be able to ask yourself, what is the story that's playing out inside? So anyway, you guys identify this, and we go through module 2, which is our secret sauce, transformational process. It's not 3 years of therapy, and I'm not knocking therapy. Therapy is needed, in some situations, but this thing shifts your brain's patterns in like an hour or less, okay? What did you notice, Ben, in your mind, in your brain, as you began to apply this process?
It got clear. I got so much out of all the confusion and the disappointment and the shame and the guilt. And what I was left with was truth. Woo! What I was left with was something I could work with. And there was a lightness to it.
Yes!
The biggest thing I got out of it was sleep.
Come on!
That's a big thing for him.
And I just started sleeping.
Come on!
I just started sleeping a lot. And like, my weekends have been for fun now.
Come on.
Right? That's been peace and happiness, and we can talk about all sorts of other financial aspects, but those ones were the very first
top. Come on.
of this process.
Yes.
And feeling like a whole person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that because, guys,
laughing again.
Honestly, this stuff, is the biggest. And you guys will notice that even in the video, I have all the figure stuff. I'm like, 8-figure business growth, 20K in 8 weeks. But I made it bigger on purpose with joy and peace and family fun. I literally made that portion bigger on purpose, guys, because what I want you to understand is you cannot quantify peace. You can't put a price on good sleep. You can't put a price on genuinely being able to spend time with your family and you're all just laughing and you're good and you aren't in your head. Because sometimes we spend time with our family, but in our head, we're in numbers, we're calculating, we're thinking, we're like going, oh, what could be going wrong? Where else do I need to be? Feeling guilty about being there. Like, it is something to be able to be fully present. But before I even get into it, Heather, because I know you saw this similar shift as well.
Yeah. For me, and my mind's drawn a blank. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm, of course. I'll remind you, because what you had said, one of the biggest things was just feeling that lack of value. Like, I've messed this up. I haven't done anything with myself, that sort of thing.
I feel so guilty, right? Because, that's 17 years I didn't spend making dough and like taking my kids on all the vacations they've ever wanted or buying them all the toys they've ever wanted. And I just had this heavy guilt. And you know what? Walking through the module 2 and picking out the pieces, because there's things from my childhood that came out of it. It wasn't just for me. It was like, no, you needed to forgive yourself, but forgive the people that you grew up with.
Yes.
That they shouldn't have put in your head.
Yes.
And just walking into the truth that God wants me to be happy.
Yes.
At home and taking care of my babies.
Come on.
You don't have to sit in that sad space. And the money is there.
Yeah.
Abundance is there.
Yeah.
And it's always been there. Just reach out.
Yeah. Wow. Guys, I really want you guys, because I love these conversations that we have. because you can literally see the difference in your face, Heather. Like, you know, it's one thing, especially for some of you guys, you're Christians or you're people of faith, and, you know, as people of faith, we know how to say the right things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it'll be okay. God's going to take care. God always provides. We always know how to say the right things. But there is a difference when it actually goes from here to here. And that was something, Heather, I've said this to you already before, but I watched your face transform in the 8 weeks. Like, I watched you come in looking like, why am I even here? Why am I part of
It's sad, but
yeah, literally, like you never said it to me, but you know, your face was just kind of like, why am I here? Am I a part of the conversation? And then it was like, as you went through the process, you were like, oh yeah, I have a seat at the table. I have a reason for being here. I have been a part of this. Like everything that you're saying, like I can own my worth. I see my value. I've contributed. I'm building 3 big old boys. Like, it's been amazing to watch the confidence, your confidence and your ownership. And for you, Ben, what was that like? Because that's different. What was that for you to watch Heather become like Heather, the real Heather?
You know, it's just been wonderful, because when we first started dating, when we first got married, we made all these dreams and plans together. And over time, you know, as life does to all of us, at time, you know, there's pressure and time goes by. And what happened is it refreshed our conversations.
Come on.
Again, and dream together from where we are today forward.
Yes.
You know, and to wake up and realize, oh my, look at how much we've accomplished since we started off together.
Yes.
Now what do we want to do?
Yes.
What's next? What do we want to do now?
Yeah.
You know? And so it gave us that chance to dream again, to plan, to create, and to come in partnership together.
Come on.
And start to recraft that next part of life.
Come on. And so, okay, so transformation happens in both of you, in the family. Your boys start thinking of like business ideas, and like they're starting to shift, and there's fun in the family. What happened financially? What did you see actually take place in the work that you do? And then for you guys in your personal investments, because I thought it was like amazing, cool.
Well, there's stuff I can't say a lot about because it's work.
Yes, that's right.
There were challenges.
Yes.
And, you know, the big thing was we had massive breakthrough during the 8 weeks that I was working with you. And during those 8 weeks, a program at work, a very large one, completely took off.
Come on.
You know, and we were able to, you know, knock down roadblocks in those processes to close deals that were, you know, just, there were challenges there.
Yeah.
And through the process, we brought a lot of great, fantastic results into my workplace.
Come on.
They have no idea. They don't know we did this. Right?
Yeah.
They're so thankful for the outcomes.
Yes.
So that was massive. That was massive at work.
Yes.
And it changed my attitude at work. I started celebrating with my team on our weekly calls.
Come on.
You know, we were celebrating our successes. We were making people laugh.
Come on.
You get just that energy, right, comes forward.
Yeah.
You know, in my personal life, I got back my confidence. And so I realized how many of our investments have done so well in the last couple of years. Even this last year was our most incredible year in the stock market. We had stocks double and triple.
Wow.
And some of them doubled during our 8 weeks with you.
Yeah.
Like, that's how crazy it was. We had
I have one that's gone up 300%.
Wow. Come on.
Right? Just like, what?
Yeah.
Abundance.
And, you know, and we were before so afraid. I wanted to find a financial advisor so I couldn't mess it up. And now I'm standing in my own understanding.
Yes.
I've also gotten the financial advisor so that he can take on the burden of a lot of it.
Yes.
But I'm doing it from a place of confidence, where I'm in agreement with what he's doing, where I interviewed him, where he's doing things to free up my time.
Yes.
Not because I don't have confidence in myself.
Come on. And I love that, because I think that's the part of it as well that is so transformative, is when you can have that confidence of, here's what we do. Here's what I do. I get it. And now let's have a conversation about the plan. It's very different. Many people get financial advisors and they have no idea what is happening, what the plan is. They literally just go, here's my money. Oh gosh, I hope it works. I hope it's good. I hope we're okay. And there's such a difference when you understand it, and you're able to ask the right questions. You're able to understand what's happening. You're able to make suggestions. Say, okay, why are we doing it that way? Okay, I get that. Let's do that. Why don't we try this way? Like, there's so much ownership. There's so much joy in the ownership of that process, because we talk so much about not just working for money, but making money begin to work for us. And the only way that happens, that's not going to happen with someone else knowing and running the process, and you're just kind of being carried along, in the journey. And so I just want to say that, guys, like, you need to address this area of financial self-esteem, because until you do, you're not really going to engage in those conversations. You're not really going to allow yourself to understand those conversations. And it doesn't matter how much money you've given to them, because we had so many clients come through who have given millions and millions to other people to manage and had no idea what was exactly happening, because they were so afraid of the conversation or afraid of losing. It is better, I promise you, it is better to regain who you are in finance, so that you can show up at the table with confidence and bring suggestions, or even understand what decisions are being made. Okay, for both of you, what would you say to someone who is watching this and they've built career success, they look phenomenal, they've done a lot with their lives, and you guys, I so respect you guys, because you guys have really built a lot over your lives, and you've worked very hard over the years, but they know that there's a gap. They know that there is more. And I know I'm holding myself back from getting to that more. What would you say to that person that is watching this right now?
I would say you have to allow somebody else to lead you through a conversation to really get to the root of what's inside of you, to understand the difference between what you've allowed your life to look like, what it could possibly look like, because you took me on a journey. And when the journey was done, you smashed an imaginary ceiling over my earnings power that I didn't even know existed, and challenged me to actually look at a multiple of income of 1,000%.
Yeah.
You challenged me to 10x my outlook on 10x. Nobody does that. I've never heard of a financial coach that said, you're doing really well, but what if we were doing 10 times better? And what if we could work on a plan to do that this year?
Right.
Who's doing that? Show me anyone in the world who ever sat down with you and said, I think you're actually worth 10 times what you've created for yourself.
Exactly.
Why don't we have a conversation about that?
So often the conversation's the opposite, right?
Yes!
One of my favorite things that we talked about was turning that what if around.
Yes.
And for me, it was like, what if?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when I started to get really excited. What if?
Come on.
What if we had that bigger house? What if we had that
exactly
thing?
What if
life is going to be better in different places? We don't have to stay here and do this way.
Yeah.
And that's when it started to click.
Come on. And I love that, because that's really, guys, that's the purpose of having someone else look with you, because you can't see past where you can see. That's the whole purpose. One of my coaches will say the inside of a jar can't read the outside label. You cannot be objective in your own process to say, hey, this is where I'm holding myself back. There is a level of self-awareness, but there is a different level when you allow someone, and I love the word you used, Ben, you said allow, because it is a decision to allow someone into that space to say, hey, what if? Like Heather said, what if we did this? And the other piece is also the planning piece. Because as much as you guys know, I talk about the mindset, because it bleeds into everything. You also need a plan. If you don't have an actual plan, it's useless. Like the mindset, morning till night, nothing's gonna change. You're gonna be like, I just feel the abundance. I know some coaches will tell you just feel the abundance and just to be abundance and but they don't give you a plan. They don't talk to you about a plan. They don't talk to you about how to create your own plan. And it's like that gap as well will keep you stuck. And I've talked to so many people who've gotten so frustrated with people who talk about mindset because all the people they've heard only talked about mindset. Just get your mind right and then it'll work. Just get your mind right and then it'll work. And it's like, yeah, okay, how long has that been working for you? Not, yeah, I thought so. So I just want to say, guys, it's not just enough to shift here. You now have to actually transform that into a real plan that would actually work to create that life that you're looking for. Any last words before we jump off? Because I know we're almost at our time here.
Another favorite thing is decluttering. I gotta say, it's so rewarding to put that 12 or whatever trash bags by the road, or charity, wherever you can get it to, because we're in the middle of COVID.
Because COVID.
But it just feels so freeing.
It is.
And so you can palpably feel the difference in our home.
Yeah.
And in like the time you can spend with people because you don't feel like you're staring at their junk.
Yep.
It's just good, right? Like, you're not, it's good.
It's good. I know, it's so funny. Go ahead, Ben.
I just wanted to say, for me, your team is so incredible.
Absolutely.
And I mean, the team that they coached us, they talked to us, they helped us wrestle through thought processes, they evaluated business plans and exercise materials and challenging us.
Yes.
I mean, your entire team and the community itself that you've built.
Absolutely.
Being part of your weekly calls. I know no one in 20 years has ever fed into Heather and I the way you and the team have to build us up and encourage us and help us see ourselves in a new light. And it was practical. And that's the best part. Like you said, it wasn't just, some stuff to soak into your mind, but it was very practical. It was like, okay, now that we fixed the mindset, now let's get to work. Let's roll up our sleeves and let's start doing the planning. Because so many plans, so many motivational books, it's almost like there was a disconnect between financial advice and motivation.
Yes.
But you brought it all together into a package and said, these aren't separate activities. This is a process.
Yes.
Let's take you on a journey and bring you out to a whole place at the end where you really work.
Come on. Come on. And I echo you. Like, the team is phenomenal. Ben, Heather, you guys have been such joy. Like, you guys add so much. And we didn't even get to talk about the music stuff that ended up happening. Like, it's just so much has happened in these 8 weeks. And I am so grateful that you trusted us to be a part of your family's process and journey. And I am excited about what you guys are stepping into in 2021. Like, this is just the beginning. This is about to blow up. So thank you guys. And I also want to thank you guys for being so honest and open and real with us, because I really think that that's what people need to know is, often we want to be like, things were going good and now they're going great. But just that willingness to really share so that people can see it is really possible to start where we started and really dramatically transform in just a space of 8 weeks. Anyway, love you guys. And for those of you guys watching, love you. And we will see you this time next week. Peace out.
Hey millionaires, thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you want to subscribe, there's a little picture of me right here. Click on that. And if you want to have a free financial breakthrough session with my team, then you can go on ahead and click on the button right here or visit moneymindset.ca/call. I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye-bye.